Oh my god, bruh. Every single female assassin's past that I looked up is so depressing. Every single one. Matter of fact, if trauma and depression had a face, it would look like this. It looks pretty good to me. What? Okay, maybe not your forger. Maybe this one. Well, wouldn't make her maybe blue, but she's still hot. What she got me mad about? Damn it, voice. Once you critique me, just because she's hot does not mean that her past isn't filled with trauma. It doesn't matter if her past is filled with trauma and she looks like this, her future's looking good. You know what, she do be looking good in that blue skin, like a big old blueberry. She looks ripe. Oh yeah, almost ready for picking. Fine then, you talking black cat, you made your point. But this next one's undeniably the true face of trauma. Well, that's just Subaru. And then he caused half of his problems by simping over some half-elf chick. That is not the point. The point is every assassin's past I looked up was depressing, and they would be looking like this if they didn't have, you know, I guess the training and the skills and the looks. Yeah, let's be real here tonight. Subaru's just crying because he's ugly, and his chance of getting them half-elf cheeks are slim to none. Oh my god, I hate you so much. Where is your sympathy? Don't even answer that. The point is every female assassin's past I looked up was depressing. Well, how depressing could they be? They all look like they're doing good in the story. Ha! Where do I even start? Your Briar, or aka Your Forger, basically raised herself and her brother when they were little, and she joined an assassin group called the Garden Assassin Syndicate for money. And not really feeling the trauma there. But I'm not finished! From the game Overwatch, Amelia Lacroix. She was kidnapped by a group called Talon, and they broke her will. And not only that, but they suppressed her personality and reprogrammed her as a sleeper agent. And because of this reprogramming, she eventually shot and killed her husband in his sleep. Wait, husband? Did he hit that? That is completely irrelevant to the story. No. It's completely relevant. Did he hit it or not? Well, I mean, they were married, so I assume yeah.
It should have been me!
Voice!
It's not fair!
Anyway, as far as Black Widow's concerned, and most of you probably didn't know this because this surprised me too, the original 616 Black Widow is dead.
No!
Big Booty Widow is dead? Don't call it that, and yes, Big Booty Widow is dead. Also, you're allowed to call it that. That's fair. No equal rights here. The original Black Widow was killed by a shield to the neck by an evil Captain America, or more or less a Hydra Captain America. Bitch, shut up! I know it's kind of hard to believe that she was killed so easily, but this was an evil Captain America. And let's not forget, Captain America can hit really hard with that shield. Yeah, her head should be gone. Now, apparently, however, in the Tales of Suspense storyline, she was cloned. But this isn't a normal cloning, because apparently instead of having a new brain with a similar face, her memory was instead reinstalled. The clone received all Natasha's memories, including their events leading to her death. Wait, Knight, so this clone can do anything that the original Natasha Romanoff could do? Yeah, more or less. It's kind of hard to explain because the original Black Widow is technically still dead, but this is basically a perfect copy of the original Black Widow. And she looks exactly like Black Widow? Yeah, she was cloned. Woo, wonderful. For a second there, you had me worried. As long as that body's still alive, I'm happy. It's not the same though, voice. It's not the same. Yeah, it is. The eye candy's still alive. The Black Widow is more than just eye candy.
Are you sure about that?
Oh god, I'm like the lamest one on this team. I don't even know why you guys keep me around.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
She brought a handgun to a fight with aliens and gods in the MCU. I don't even remember if she shot anybody. And I think the Hulk killed like most of them and got to Loki before she even got her first body. Okay, fine, she's fan service. But she's still useful. She does spy stuff and assassin stuff. She's like Yor and Lloyd combined. Can she break the planet apart? No. Can she draw a hammer? No. She can draw a hammer, not Thor's hammer. And can she make armor from scraps? And not just scraps, Knight. A box of scraps in a cave. Okay, yes, in comparison, she's pretty lame. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, Knight, why did you include Subaru's face in a video about female assassins? Well, I couldn't think of a female assassin that symbolizes trauma and sadness. Like just off rip, you know what I mean? Like most of them are too hot. They just make most people horny. Oh, Knight, I had the perfect one. Really? Well, go on. Shell from Come God Kill. Why? Those cheeks are perfect. So anyway, it's time to answer the question, is it wise to wife up an assassin? You know, because if I asked, is it what's a smash or assassin waifu, you guys would have been like,
Yes!
and just to make things clear, we're not talking about ninja assassins, just assassins, you know, normal assassins. Now, what's the difference between a ninja assassin and a normal assassin? All ninjas are cool. That and more or less, all ninja assassins are assassins, but not all assassins are ninjas. Now, obviously, ninjas have assassinated people in the past, but they were also known as spies and infiltrators of feudal Japan. And their core job was more or less intelligence gathering, sabotage, and guerrilla warfare. Ninjas have a wide range of skills and things that they do, and normal assassins, well, they kind of just want to murder somebody. But not just anybody and not for just any reason. Assassins in the past could be an individual or a group, and they were usually dedicated to eliminating a target for political or religious reasons. And I'll go ahead and say this because this is pretty obvious. They were nowhere as near as cool as they are in fiction. In fiction, assassins were jumping around doing parkour and fighting streets of people at one time. Real assassins were out here jumping brothers. It was either that, poison, crossbows, traps of all kinds, and more or less strangulation. Now, as far as female assassins in reality, I looked up one called Charlotte Corday, and she assassinated a French revolutionary named Jean-Paul Marat. From what I looked up, this was in the 1700s. And the story goes like this. Corday, more or less, was able to travel to Paris and gain access to Marat while he was in the bath bathing. And this is where she fatally stabbed and killed Marat. Now, this story ends by her being arrested and guillotined. She apparently didn't have a bird to scan the area. Shocker. Now, more or less what I'm getting at is, there can be extreme consequences to assassinations, and these consequences could extend to the family of the assassin as well. But that does depend on the time period. In today's time, assassins' families don't usually get, you know, murdered at the stake or guillotined. You know, it just doesn't happen because, you know, we're more, what's the word, civilized? You know, we burn cars now and, you know, torture people on the internet psychologically. You know, cruel, but still more civilized. Anyway, the point is, in reality, it would be fine to, you know, smash a female assassin. But marrying her, depending on the time period, you might want to save that ring for maybe a hot nun who could suck the life out of you. That's just me. I ain't dying because you haven't seen someone get their head cut off with guillotine? That shit's scary. Now, let's move on to the fictional ones. And the first one we're going to talk about is Black Widow, and more specifically, the 616 Black Widow. Now, I'm going to be honest with my opinion here because I know she's a very loved character by a lot of people, but unfortunately, not by me. What? It would not be wise to wipe this chick up, I'm not going to lie to you. Viewer, have you ever looked at a character in an anime or a comic and they look really good, you know, they're very attractive and they're even said to be attractive in the storyline, but they were single and you're just wondering to yourself, how are they this good looking, but they're single? My brothers and sisters, look up their backstory. Black Widow's backstory not only made me depressed, it gave me a headache. Now why is that? Because this woman's backstory is everywhere. Natasha Romanova, aka Black Widow, is a former KGB agent and also a sleeper agent. Well, a former one, but you get the point. I ain't trying to be in the bed with no sleeper agent. She can go to bed happy as hell and love me and wake up racist because something triggered her killer instincts. I can't do it. Black Widow is strong. She's taking a different form of the super soldier serum, so she's not as strong as Captain America, but she's strong nevertheless. And you know, I can just picture her strangling me while I'm sleeping. Now, me knowing myself, I'm gonna assume that she's mad at me because I won't share any of the blankets with her. And if that would be the case, then up yours, bitch. Cause I ain't sharing a damn thing. You can kill me. The woman's of these cotton covers are just too good. And if you're gonna kill me, for God's sakes, use the thighs. Anyway, other than being a sleeper agent and the fact that the current her is a clone, Natasha also has a lot of problems concerning the Red Room. Now, the Red Room is where she got her powers from, where she got her training, and to make it more simple, it's a KGB espionage training program that takes young girls and trains them as assassins, spies, trains them to specialize in espionage and combat. They also brainwash the girls here, and on graduation day, they do an involuntary treatment that makes them unable to have children. So yeah, Black Widow needs Jesus, a therapist, and some alcohol. Not a man. Whew, especially not me. Listen, from what I read, she's been passed around more times than a blunt. She's been with Daredevil, she's been with Hawkeye, she's been with the Winter Soldier. And her relationship with Steve Rogers, aka Captain America, is basically a platonic friendship. So yeah, you know he hit that. And we all know that the Hulk smashed. Now, I was joking about Captain America and Bruce Banner, but yeah, she's had a lot of partners. And yet, she's still single. Why? For multiple reasons, obviously, but one of them is she can't keep a man, and even though she's hot, she's not worth it. Now, there's a lot more I can say about her, but I'll move on because my main point is, she's a lot to deal with. Now, the next one up, however, may be worse, and that's Widowmaker from Overwatch. Now, don't let that booty and that French accent fool you. This one was programmed and altered to be emotionless, and a living weapon. Now, after the Widowmaker killed her husband, she rejoined Talon, which is basically just a terrorist group. They're also one of the primary antagonists of the Overwatch universe. So she rejoined them and they gave her a sense of training, and they altered her physiology by drastically slowing her heart. And this is what turned her skin cold and blue, and it numbed her ability to experience human emotion. At this point, her original self, Amelie, was gone. Now with that being said, you'd be dumb as hell to wife up a woman who killed her husband and is currently called the Widowmaker. My brothers, the red flags are there. You are next. But then again, if you want it that badly, I'll suggest you look her up online. There's plenty of her up there. And I mean, one quick search and you find well animated shorts of her doing very not safe for work things. Anyway, moving on. Your Forger, aka the Thorn Princess from Spy X Family. Great character. I honestly did not expect to like her as much as I did. And this is because when she's assassinating, she seems to come off as more cold-hearted. So I assumed, based off the first trailer I saw of her, that she'd be a more serious character. But if you watch the show Spy X Family, you know that she's mostly just, how you describe her, cute and thick. Now while most of her personality can be described as sweet, cute, and even honorable, if we're talking about her in the context of trying to wife her up, she has a lot of cons. And the first one being that she can't cook. And I'm cool with women not being able to cook. Hell, we can go out to eat. The problem is that her food looks like a biohazard and tastes so bad that the dog don't even want to eat it. I mean, seriously, her first dishes were purple and oozing fluid. And when Lloyd tasted it, he was on the toilet all day. Now, thanks to some of her friends or her co-workers, she has become a better cook, so that's not her biggest con. Her biggest con is that she gets flustered at even a hint of a romantic situation. And that's not really good in her case, because when Yor comes across a problem, she usually handles it like an assassin would handle it. So, you know, very violently. There was one time in the story that Yor was drunk, and Lloyd, in order to comfort her, tried to put the moves on her. And she responded to this by kicking him in the head. This man flew. And I'm serious when I say this man flew out of his seat, all the way across the room, landed on his feet, legs buckling with the most confused look on his face. For those of you who don't know, Yor Forger is extremely strong because of her assassination training. And she's not only strong, she's quick, she has great physical endurance. So much physical endurance, however, that she can get hit by a car, do a flip, and still land on her feet and continue on like nothing happened. Now, I'm not sure what they did to her in the Garden Syndicate, but she's like super soldier level at least. This is a woman that doesn't fight with a gun or a sword. She fights with needle-like stilettos against armed men on a nightly basis. And other people that Yor Forger kicked, seriously, did not get back up. In fact, I remember she kicked this one guy and he literally ricocheted off the building. Twice! This is a grown man, by the way. Yor's a 27-year-old woman standing at 5 feet 7 inches tall. And Lloyd is 6 feet 1 inch, 1.5 inch tall. He's thinking exactly what I'm thinking in this moment. This ain't logical. This ain't right. How the hell did this happen? Did I just grow wings and fly? And I just had to bring up the point that these two are in a fake marriage, but they still have not slept together at all. They sleep in totally separate rooms. Now, I don't care if it's a fake marriage or not. If she look like this, I'm putting the moves on her at the expense of my life. Ain't no way I'm gonna get down on one knee and get no cheeks. Yor Forger is 27 years old with the body of a model. And I know her background is full of assassinations and, you know, basically spending most of her time with her brother and the Garden Syndicate. But you telling me for 27 years, you ain't never had a boyfriend, you ain't never had a kiss from a man, and you ain't never got no diddy wang? No play? Bruh, if Lloyd doesn't wife her up by the end of the series, I am going to be pissed! Because even with all her flaws, she is undoubtedly wifey material. It's undeniable, and Anya's gonna need a sibling eventually. Like, I don't care if it's for the mission or for family, but these two need to go ahead and knock boots. Moving on, next one. Shell from Akame ga Kill. Extremely worth it. Now, she's considered useless by a lot of people because, well, in everything but assassination, she kind of is. But it doesn't matter because she's extremely nice and she's caked up. And she's also considered an airhead and clumsy, but honestly, that's not a con. That's just adorable. Girl was so nice to Tatsumi, the main character, that she let him cry in her arms to blow off steam because at the time, he still hadn't let go of the fact that his friends had been killed. She let bruh cry in her arms and she didn't tell nobody about it. You know what I call that? Peak wifey material. And just a fun fact, in her last moments, she sacrificed herself by using her imperial arm, which is this giant pair of scissors called the Cutter of Creation Extus. And these scissors can apparently cut through anything, and also they can shine a blinding light, a light bright enough to at least distract the enemy. Not the most powerful trump card, but was used to help mine escape, you know, from this chick.
Good boy! Now
If you haven't seen the anime Akame ga Kill yet, you need to watch it. It can be found on Crunchyroll, Hulu, Disney Plus, and Prime Video. And trust me on this, you will hate this chick. And with that being said, tell me what you think in the comments. And tell us which one of these assassin waifus would you wife up immediately. Now, we can't end the video here, man. There's so many others to talk about. We'll make a second part. Now! Talk about them now! I am hungry and tired of talking. Did you forget I'm an introvert? Also, you can eat, but you won't feed me. Oh my god. Y'all see how he do me? He don't love me. I put myself up for adoption right now. And for all the bad bitches, free of charge. So come save me from this monster and feed me. I need love. You need Jesus. No, I need to be fed. I'm getting skinny. My brother, you were literally built like this. Now for the love of God, get off the screen. No!